Welcome back to my workshop. Now today's a follow-on video from a video I did a couple of weeks ago about installing these, which were garden lights from a company called Lighting Legends. Now I'm not sponsored by Lighting Legends, they didn't send me these, I had to buy them on my own, but I covered it in the last video, which is up here, the full installation of these. So what's the follow-on? Well, the follow-on is these, which are extensions. Okay, so they're the same type of kit as this, but these are extensions. So first of all, let me get you out in the garden and very quickly show you why I need the extensions. Right, so let's get back out in the garden and remind ourselves what we're doing. Okay, so what we did last week, or in the last video, I installed all of these lighting strings around the bottom of the garden, around the shed, and then it stops here. Okay, so I've still got all of this bit along here and down here to put some more lights in. Okay, there's my cat. And also on the other side here, this is where the last part is, and I want to go all the way around the log shed. So let me show you where they join on. Right, so here's the end of the light here. I briefly covered this in the last video. At the end, there's a capped off bit here, okay, and these should, in theory, undo with my left hand, okay, and it leaves a socket. Okay, it's this type of socket. Okay, it's only a 2-pin, so there's no grounding on this. So our extension kits will join onto here. So there's another one of those over there on the log shed. Okay, so with this one here, I want to go along here, around this shed, log shed, along the dirty guttering that's all a bit bent, but I'll probably go inside. Right, so let's go and get these out of the box, and we'll make sure that we got the other end of this. All right, so we'll quickly get these out of the box. This is how they come. I bought two 7-meter lengths, okay, and because they're both coming to me, they packaged them together. Okay, similar box, okay, with some QR codes on it. 7 meters, this one, heavy duty LED outdoor string lights, warm white. Okay, so they're the warm white, they should match with the original kit. Scan for accessories, energy efficient shatterproof bulbs, 7 warm white 2-watt LED filament bulbs, connects up multiple sets, which is what we're doing today, and designed for your year-round outdoor use. So you can leave these outside all year. They're IP65 rated, so they're fully waterproof. Okay, right, let's get these out of the box. And very similar to the original kit, you get the actual harness, and then you get a box with some bulbs in it. Just out of curiosity, let's see if we get a spare bulb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we get a spare bulb again. Okay, set of instructions, which we probably don't need because we've already fitted the other ones. Right, don't need to go through that, because if you're interested, we can you can look at the other video. What we're interested in is this. Again, this is very similar to the old video. What do we get here? Same again. This actually comes with a plug on it. We don't really need this plug or this extension because we're going to be daisy chaining this onto the original fitted lights. Okay, so we undo that. Yeah, okay, so this bit is not needed, but we'll keep it because if we want to move these to somewhere else, we can just put that back in. Right, and on the other end, yeah, that's capped off. It's all good. Right, so what we need to do is, first of all, go out and plug this in. Okay, what we'll do is we'll do the shed extension first. I suspect, now this is 7 meters long, I think we might be a little bit short with our supporting wire. Okay, so we've got our connection here, but along here, I think that wire is only about 5 meters long. So I may need to extend it down to this post here. Okay, but I haven't got any hardware left. I might have to make something up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to do a trial run to see how long it actually is. as I expected, it's not quite long enough, unless I just come down here. That might be an idea. It saves me running another length. Let me go and get that approved by Mrs. Little Workshop. Right, the fact I've got a drill in my hand means that the change of plan wasn't approved. So what I've got to do now is extend my wire, which means I've got to drill into a post. So I'll get on with that. If you're interested in how the wiring works, the actual supporting wiring, look at a previous video and I'll go into it in quite detail. But in the meantime, I'm going to drill this, and then next thing you'll know, there'll be a wire up. Right, let's go. Right, so what actually happened here is I forgot to turn my microphone on. So what I'm doing is marking out about 6 inches down from the top of each fence post, drilling a hole with an 8mm SDS drill, putting a raw plug in, and then putting in a little eyelet. Now this allowed me to run extra supporting cabling. The first light was fixed in with a screw, and then the rest were put in with small cable ties. Now initially what I did is I just put the cable ties on loosely and supported the rest of the cable that would have been flapping about in the breeze. But all the others were a small cable tie attached to the supporting cable. First of all, I put them on quite loose until I got to the end one, and then what I could do is I could pull it all tense and then tighten them up and cut off the cable ties. Now this seems to work quite well. It worked well on the other lighting that I did. And what I did is on the end, instead of just having one cable tie, what I had was 3 cable ties, and that's more than enough to hold it all tense. So all that remains to do now is put the light bulbs in on this side of the garden, which is a simple case, the same as changing a light bulb in your house. Just screw them all in, no problem at all. Now these light bulbs are a plasticky type and they're quite resistant to bumping. So that's them all down that side, but what I have to do now is go over to the other side of the garden to run around the woodshed. Okay, so I want to go all the way around, but what I might do is actually go inside. So the first thing to do would be to connect it to the existing one in the same way as we've just done on the left hand side, but this time when I put the connector together, I supported it at the connector with a couple of extra cable ties, just to make sure it doesn't flap about too much in the breeze. Now these things are waterproof, they shouldn't come undone, but I don't really want them flapping about. Same again, the cat's got in the way as usual, but what I had to do is I had to gain access inside the woodshed and then do a bit of a contortionist act to actually get inside. I fed the wires through from the back of the shed, and then screwed them to the side panel and along the inside of the front, which you'll see here. Okay, just roughly screwed them into place, and then what I did was tidy up the wires afterwards, but I wanted to space the lights out so that when they're showing they can actually be seen from outside. Same again, bit of a contortionist act getting in to screw to the inside face of the woodshed. Okay, so this bit here in the middle here, as you can see some wires dangling down. All I did is I moved them up and put an extra screw in and just tied them up with a bit of a cable tie, just so it wasn't dangling outside. I mean, the guttering is already needs replacing. I shall do that afterwards. And then finally, it was just a case of putting the bulbs in and sticking in all the shutters back on the woodshed. That was fun. Right, so they're all in now, all down that side, all around the woodshed or in the woodshed. All we've got to do now is wait for it to get dark, which won't be long now because it's going down already. So I've got just enough time to go and have a cup of tea, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to see what they look like. They should look excellent, I think. Right, so before we turn those on, just a quick reminder that the bulbs and all the wiring and everything, all the lights come from Lighting Legends. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in purchasing from them. Sorry about the video just now. I've had to do a bit of a voiceover because I made the mistake of going off and having dinner, which meant my microphone turned off. But I hope that didn't make much of a difference. Okay, let's go and turn those on. Right, it's just starting to get dark now, so before it gets too dark, let's have a quick look, see what these look like. First of all, the woodshed, remote control. Ooh, very nice. Okay, now let's swing around and have a look at the others. So it's only an extra 7 meters along here, but this makes a hell of a difference. Okay, so combined with all of these all the way around here, and then obviously if we turn on the woodshed, so during the winter we'll be able to see in there. Yeah, I think it looks great now. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so that's about it. It's just the extensions I was showing you just now. If you want to see the full video on the other installation, it's this video here. But it's just to show you that you can extend these lights. I could carry on extending them for 550 meters, but I think that will do for now. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Right, the fact I've got a drill in my hand means that the stupid cat.